Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. I'm your guy, Hector, joined by my special co-host, Mr. Joe from the shift. And of course, my brother, Mr. Jiggerman Porto. Check out the intro and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, August 17th. I tried to put a bag over my face.
You didn't get it on time.
And it didn't work out. So I'm just here sitting with this purple bag on my head
I saw the video came up and you were like, I was like, oh, well, he didn't get that.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. I tried. You know, we always try to do something different over here. We got Joe backstage. Joe, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock and roll so we can bring you in. Like I said, we got a special one here. My friend, Mr. Joe Caputo's in the building. Joe, what it do, big fella?
What's going on, boys?
What's up,
Joe?
The Yankees are depressing.
Oh God,
right? They got me. They got me just feeling a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't even know where to start. So Hector,
it's so bad.
I feel you, Joe. It is uncharted waters right now for a lot of us Yankee fans, and especially if you're around the age of myself and Joe. Because we started watching this team, we was able to enjoy the dynasty years, right? That's when we got invested into this team. We weren't around when the Manning League eras was going on. We started watching towards the end of his career, but seeing what this team is right now, it's very depressing, like Joe said. But before we start that, so how you feeling this morning, big fella? You handsome bastard, you.
You know, bro, thanks. I love you. What up, Joe? Joe is in the building. I love doing my Joe, man. I'll be honest, bro. Like, your intro, I came in mad, but then the intro hit, and that always gets me fired up, and then the bag on your head. So you kind of took down my guard, okay? Because I was ready to come in fired up, and then I see Joe, and you guys just made me feel good. But screw the Yankees.
Yeah. Let's do a little bit of the roll call before we jump down into any of the conversations, right? We got our guy, Mr. TC Stills, in the building. He's in the beaches of Florida right now. He got his toes in the sand, sipping on some mojitos and margaritas. Shout out to my brother, Mr. TC Stills. We got Shane McNeil in the building. Shane, how you doing, my guy? Anna Marie LeBeau is in the building. Anna Marie, hope all is well. Yankee Kyle's in the building. Sue Nils in the building. My friend NFE Anthony Garcia's in the building. Dev Finch is in the building. We got Garlic Balls in the building. Hold on, I'm gonna say this again. We got Garlic Balls is in the building. Gar Balls is in the building. Shout out to you, my guy. Anthony Medina de la Isla, mi hermano. Como Damian Serrano's in the building. I know I probably already said Anthony Garcia, but let me say it again. Twice. Anthony Garcia, what it do? We got Dennis in the building. Dennis, hope all is well. Good morning, Yankee fans. We got 33 people in the building. Smack that like button for this therapy session we got going on today.
That was funny. You're like, we got Gark Balls, we got this, and then we've got Darren. Hey, pal. Well, the last guy's name was like,
hey, Darren. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, pal?
But no, we got to talk about it because I want to bring it up. Look at the picture that's on the right of this graphic that I made last night. This, to put it into perspective, the last time the Yankees were under 500, this is the technology that was out. We got the PS1 that was brand new out on the market. We got that TV that we all know everybody had in the kitchen so you can watch TV while you're cooking. We had the Walkman down there.
The two wires in the back. What was it? Just
the yellow and white
wire.
And the white,
yellow
right? For video, white for audio. So
you got me dying.
With that TV.
And of course, you see the cell phone down there. We all know one of our parents had the cell phone. It was always broke. It never worked. But us kids, we used to walk around like it worked.
Facts.
That's what it is right now.
Wow,
man.
bro.
it up.
It's been that long.
Man. It is. It has been.
Yo, I bet you if I showed that to my kids right now, the only thing they know is the PlayStation. Be like, what the hell is that other stuff?
You know what's hilarious? And I'll throw it over to Joe to get his perspective on this. My niece and nephew, they asked me, what's a cassette player? They asked me that like last week. What's a cassette? I was like, Jesus Christ. I feels like when I was a kid and I was asking people, what's an 8-track player? Yeah. Joe, I'm going to throw it over to you, Joe. How do you feel right now when it comes to this team and being on the 500? Go ahead, bro.
Listen, where the last time that this happened, like you said, was when the PS1 came out, was back in what, 95? And then we went 19-4. We made the playoffs. We got bounced out. But that team was just so different from the team that we have right now, right? That team had Don Mattingly, had Bernie Williams, had Wade Boggs. You can even throw in Mike Stanley, Paul O'Neill. Those were some good ball players. This lineup doesn't have that. It's not even close. It's not even close. So if anybody thinks that just because the 95 Yankees went on a run, this team does not have it in them. No way. Nope. No way. Mm-hmm. Listen, Met fans can hate Buck all they want. They can hate Buck all they want. I still think he's a better manager than Aaron Boone. Still think that. Aaron Boone is not the man for this job. And if you think that he could squeeze any more juice out of this orange, he can. He's not capable in doing that. He's not. The 60 and 61, it's gonna get worse. I hate talking that way. I love being optimistic. They're my Yankees. I love them with all my heart. It breaks my heart. But what can we do? They stink. Yeah.
No, Joseph, you hit it right on the head. And our friend C-Mac from WFAN, who's been on the show once, friend of the channel, friend of the show, he said, and he's somebody that he's likes to be optimistic and never punt on the season. But even Chris, he said it on Twitter. He's like, shut out for the second straight day, under 500 and lifeless. Forget the low point of the season. It is the low point of his entire Yankee fandom. And for Yankee fans, that's why I said this is uncharted water. So what's your thoughts?
So I really thought about it last night, Heck, when you were like, yo, why don't you come on tomorrow morning with me and Joe? And I started thinking about when you were like, I can't believe we lost another one. And I have to take a step back and look at it this way, guys. This is what people have been calling for, right? Let's be real. Everybody, I hope they shit the bed so there'll be changes. Nothing will change if we make it into the playoffs and all that. This is what it feels like. And let me tell you, for those of you that were calling for it, this shit sucks. It sucks bad. Okay. Joe, you said they can't go on a run. Let's take it even further. They can't score a single run. Forget a run into the playoffs. They can't even score a single run again last night. You know, like the shit show that is this season is freaking crazy. But if those of us that were really like, we want to see change, they need to not make the playoffs. That's the only way we're going to get it. This is what it looks like. You want to preach, hey, I want the kids up? It's going to take more shit like this for us to even possibly have a chance to even see the kids come up. It doesn't feel good, though, Heck. This shit is brutal, bro. It's brutal.
It don't. Just to put it in perspective, when it comes to the stats, over the last 13 games, when it comes to runners in scoring position, the New York Yankees are 19 for 90. That is a 211 batting average. The last time 211 and myself been associated, I was in junior high school when I weighed 211 pounds. That's the last time 211 was a significant number in my life. But right now, my New York Yankees, they've been hitting 211 over the past 13 games of runners in scoring position. And it's just the constant rinse and repeat answers that we get from the front office, from Aaron Boone after every press conference. And like Joe said, Aaron Boone, you got away with it in 2019. It looked good when you were able to find replacement players to just plug in, and they were able to produce. The Andrew McCutcheons, when he came, you weren't able to duplicate that this season, right? So I know we got a video ready to play. If you want to play it, and shout out to Peter Rosenberg. This is a guy that I knew back in the day from when I was doing music. But Peter Rosenberg yesterday, I think he channeled the frustration from us Yankee fans. So I'm gonna bring it up and play it. And guys in the chat, let us know what you think about it. And when we come back, I'll let Joe lead it off. So if you want to play it,
their collapse in the middle of last year happened when DJ LeMahieu got hurt, where he just couldn't hit anymore. That was a big, big factor. And then in the postseason, no LeMahieu, no Benintendi, and they tried to rush back Carpenter, who also got hurt. He was carrying the team. Now, they shouldn't be applauded for that because that was not their plan for Matt Carpenter to be the second best player after Judge. But Matt Carpenter was. Then he hurt his foot, and boom, he's out for 2.5 months. And then they try to rush him back without any kind of rehab. So I think they were better than a 500 team. And I think that's why they fooled themselves into thinking we don't have to make major changes. Let's go sign Rodon. DJ LeMahieu is going to be better. We like Rizzo. He's not going to. They couldn't foresee he's going to have a concussion. I think they thought they were going to be a lot better, but now I think they see the flaw in that.
This, just being honest, this does sound sort of like excuse making, though.
Well, I don't give a crap what it sounds like. I'm telling you the reasons why it's happening. If you people want to say they're making excuses, I don't care anymore. I'm telling you the truth here. If you think it's making excuses, good, go crap in a lake. I don't care.
What's the point of the truth? They got it wrong. They always get it wrong.
No, that's ridiculous. They always get it wrong.
That is, over the last few years, they've gotten it wrong.
Really? They went to the ALCS last year. They really got it so wrong. They won the American League East. They won the American League East, the toughest division in baseball. They won 99 games. They always get it wrong.
Wait, so you want fans to be happy that they got embarrassed by their arch rival?
I'm not telling fans what to do. You can feel whichever way you want. I'm just telling you, you can't say they got it wrong when they won the Final Four team standing.
Wait, but I can't say they got it wrong if the best thing they could achieve in the last 3 years was getting swept by their arch rival. Well, that's getting it wrong.
That's your definition of wrong. Now, the Mets got it wrong this year, and the Yankees got it wrong this year.
The Mets punted. The Mets all out straight up said, we got it wrong. We're punting. The Yankees are refusing to do so when they should.
All Peter's doing, Michael, is just backing up the words that they said. What did Judge Cole last year? He called it a failure that they lost to the Astros.
I get it. I get it, but you can't say they always get it wrong, like they're a bumbling organization that can't get out of its own way and doesn't make the postseason. That's stupid. You sound like a fan.
No.
It's that last point that pisses me off when he said you sound like a fan. First and foremost, right? When Peter Rosenberg started going off, I honestly thought that was Joe for a second. Like I literally thought that was Joe that showed up to the ESPN studio, kicked Peter Rosenberg out of his chair, and started going off. Joe, go ahead, my guy.
Yeah. So listen, if you want to bring up them not having been attendee, and first of all, why didn't you throw the bag at him? If you felt like he was that important to the team, why didn't you bring him back? Regardless if he wanted to come back or not. I don't care. You should have thrown $90 million at him if he was that important. But obviously he wasn't. You didn't bring him back. You didn't throw the $90 million at him. I can't take it. You got, like what Peter said, you got swept by the Astros. You looked awful. And by the way, those 99 games that we won, most of them came in the first half. That August was horrible. July, we were 500. What are we talking about? The 99 wins. Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, boys, I don't mean to yell like this. I can't help it though. Listen, I have all the respect in the world for Michael K. He's one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now. He's one of the main reasons why. But Michael, Benintendi isn't on this team anymore, and you're saying that you're giving it as an excuse. You're using him as an excuse. Michael, they didn't think he was worth the money to bring him back. What are we saying? What are they saying? What are you saying? Of course we're fans. Mike, aren't you a fan? You always bring up when you were a friggin' kid, that Bucky Dent home run. Aren't you a fan, Mike? Stop giving these people excuse after excuse after excuse. I'm tired of it. Got rings? Got rings? We haven't gotten a ring since 2009, and we have one of the highest payrolls in baseball for the past, 15 years? But forever. This is ridiculous.
It has to get exhausting, right? I mean,
I'm exhausted.
But I mean, Michael K, like, how can you sit there and just constantly defend the team? I get it. It's part of, corporate yes network type stuff. But to really put up a fight against Peter? I mean, I'm pretty sure if everybody in the chat right now, we said, whose side are you on? Pete's side or K's side? I'd love to see everybody. Because I'm confident in this community, Pete's side, right? I mean, there's no question about it. But I mean, I feel like every time K talks, he also puts his foot in his mouth. Right, Joe? I mean, he said the Benintendi comment. Absolutely. Oh, okay. You mean what us fans have been talking about? The athleticism? That's why you brought him here and then you let him walk? But then you're going to sit here and make it seem like we make good decisions? How can anybody that watches the Yankees utter in the same sentence, the Yankees make great decisions? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. One thing that was frustrated about that whole back and forth, that exchange between Peter and Michael K, was the fact that Michael K, he brought up Benintendi, right, and Carpenter. They're not on the team anymore.
Right.
Yeah. They're not on the team. They're not on the team anymore.
And what did they really think of them? They didn't bring either one of those guys back. Not even Carpenter.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
And he said
Don't bring those guys up.
He said Carpenter carried us in the second half. One of the main reasons we got to the postseason, and we didn't bring him back. We had to go to the amateur leagues to go find Matt Carpenter at a beer league, hitting back and forth, and bring him to the majors to save our team. We let him go, and the front office decided, oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You can't use that as an excuse. You can't use those guys as an excuse. What we should be saying is we didn't address left field in the offseason. We didn't address the back end of the bullpen. They let Kenley Jansen go to Boston for the next 2 years. That's what they did. I mean, come on. We didn't, and I said it in a video. Stop bringing up Ian Hamilton. You didn't get him to be what he is. I'm thankful that he is what he is. That wasn't your intent. You never improved that back end of that bullpen. It's biting us in the ass. Not having a left fielder is biting us in the ass. It's really funny. You have guys like Jake Bowers, Billy McKinney. I like those guys. I do. But now they're struggling. And all of a sudden, Glaber's struggling in the past, week? Hitting like over 100 in the past 6 games.
And don't even start with the double play.
It's Harrison Bader, too. So as Judge is struggling. So it's like, everybody's struggling at this. It's the guys who were keeping this team afloat are now struggling, and everybody else is still struggling. So
but you just said it, Joe.
Scoring anything.
But you just said it. How bad is it that you just list those names and that's what was carrying our team? Say it again. Now exactly. Like that's what we're saying. Now we're getting even worse. We've been a shit show forever. Everybody's been struggling. Now reality's sinking in, and the ones that we're not supposed to count on were the ones that were allowed to actually have struggles. They're seeing it, and now you're seeing the entire operation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's not a single thing anybody like Michael K can say to me that my answer can't come back to, oh, you mean the team that started without a left fielder? That should be your final line to any conversation with anybody that's on the positive side of things.
Not just that. We went into the season with 2 backup catchers that we were going to try to make a starting catcher. Right, when it comes to Jose Trevino and Kyle Higashioka.
Yep.
One of the guys came into this season with a wrist injury that they knew about.
Oh,
they knew about this wrist injury.
Oh, yeah.
They let him play. He had probably one of the worst offensive seasons, if not the worst offensive season of his careers. And then on top of it, cherry on the cake. And I know I got someone backstage that I want to bring up real quick just to get her rant, but the cherry on the cake was the fact that they allowed Anthony Rizzo to come to play with concussion syndromes, Joe and Celso, for 2 months. They let him play with concussion-like symptoms for 2 months. Somebody on that medical staff needs to get fired. How are we misdiagnosing Judge? Not just once, not just twice, 3 different times Judge's toe was misdiagnosed. First, they said it was a bruised contusion, whatever. Then they said it was 1 torn ligament. Then it came out that it was 2 torn ligaments in that right toe.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you had, what was his name? Dr. Morse? Was it Morse? I mean, that was like, 3 days after the injury. And we had him on this show. And he was just like, yeah, that doesn't seem right. I think it's worse. Like, why is it that every injury that they try to hide from us, all of us see it? We talked about Rizzo for months. Something's wrong with Rizzo. Something ain't right. Something's wrong with Rizzo, right?
Yeah.
Even with Trevino, man. We didn't expect him to be this bad. What's going on? Something's got to be wrong. Like, they think they're getting away with it, but us fans sit here and we see it. But yet we're supposed to buy the bull crap. I mean, even Casey Funtime said it. Don't forget about banking on JD. Oh, you guys are crazy. I think Donaldson's not going to have a great comeback year. Are you shitting me? So everything that we're told we're crazy has come to life, and we're wrong. We're still wrong. Get the hell out of here.
How many times this year did we see Jose Trevino swing a bat, and towards the end of it, it was a one-handed swing?
Yep.
How many times? How many times did we see Jose Trevino take a one-handed swing this season? He was swinging at balls that was in his armpits one-handed.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. I've had it up to here. Seriously, you have Rizzo, right? Rizzo. Let's just start with him, who's hitting 300. He's gonna make the All-Star team at this rate. 311 home runs. He's looks freaking fantastic.
One of the best.
All of a sudden, bam! All of a sudden, collision with Tatis. Different, like you said, they didn't investigate that. They didn't do a good enough job because all of a sudden, how do you hit 300 and then forget how to hit?
Exactly.
How do you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
It was night and day. It was so
obvious.
Obvious.
It was almost like in Space Jam when those freaking aliens zapped everybody of their talent. Like that's what happened. That's what happened.
Seriously.
That's what happened.
He had a stretch that it was a 1 to 10 at bat stretch where he struck out 9 times. One of those during that stretch, one of those games he struck out 5 times in a game. When was the last time any major league hitter that we know struck out 5 times in a game? But I want to take a pause right here just because, like I said, I do have someone backstage. I want to bring her up real quick just to get her take on it. Now, before I bring her up, I want to give her a shout out, right? Her and her friend, they have an Instagram channel called Baseball Fever Media. They have a podcast that they run over there. My friend Sarah, her and I, we've been following each other last year, and she has been one of those pleasant voices in the Yankees community that we've needed online, right? The way that she goes off and she rants, I love it, right? One of my favorite things to go over after the Yankees loss is to hear what Sarah has to say. But I want to bring up Sarah to get her take on what's going on right now. Sarah, let me get a thumbs up backstage just to make sure you're good, ready to go. Okay, we got the thumbs up. My friend Sarah's on the panel. Sarah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Long time coming, Sarah. We was trying to make this happen before. Finally, we here. Thank you so much, Sarah, for taking time out this morning.
Thank you.
Now before we
are you boiling right now? I mean,
you have no idea.
Yeah.
Sarah, before you get into it, just let the people know, let them know about the podcast that you run with your friend Julia. Let them know when you guys go live, and just so they can follow you in the chat. My community, we do a big thing when it comes to following all the guests that come on the channel. So let them know where they can find you, and then just jump right into your take, Sarah.
Okay, so my friend Julia and I met a couple years ago at Yankee Stadium, and we started the podcast from there. It was originally her podcast. And she had all these different guests on, but she said, no, I need somebody that's going to stick with me when, it's my time to go on. So she had me on one day. She heard me go off about Garrett Cole. I literally went on a 25-minute rant about Garrett Cole, saying, why hasn't he won a Cy Young yet? So it went from there. And she was like, you want to be the co-host because you clearly know your shit.
And you're a Giants fan too. You're a New York Giants fan on top of that.
Yeah. Although I can't go off about them that much because they've been good lately. So I'm waiting for that moment.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, keeping the fingers crossed. Exactly. So we started from there, and then we've been talking ever since. And we haven't had any people on yet, at least for guests. We're still trying to get into it. But I think us going back and forth at it, like there was a time where I think it was during that whole smoke storm we had where everyone was indoors and we couldn't leave. So we hadn't done an episode. We were very sporadic with it. She's got a busy schedule. I'll eventually have a busy schedule. So we have to meet at the same time. So we ended up meeting on that day. And it was during the time when Rizzo was having his whole shebang and Judge was on the IL. And then Nestor Cortez went on. And then we found out about Trevino and his ups and downs. I went on a 45-minute rant, kid you not, because I was looking at the recording, a 45-minute rant just about the athletic trainers.
Listen, and she's right about that. Sarah, she comes with the facts. She comes with the heat. But Sarah, like I said, you are a voice that is needed in the Yankee community. So I really do want to give you your flowers when it comes to that. But rip the Band-Aid off. Let the people in the chat know how you feel about this team under 500 right now before we get into the next topic. Go ahead, Sarah.
So it's a travesty. It's like it's not even a dust storm. It's like a bonfire went off 100 times and nobody knows how to stop it. You keep pouring water on it, keep trying to put Band-Aids on it, and it's not working. So what do? You have to rebuild a new one. Who's rebuilding? Where's the rebuilds? There's no rebuilds. You have Cashman literally sitting at his desk answering 900 phone calls when I've never seen the man sit behind home plate once in my life. Except when George was alive, he used to sit right next to him with the clipboard and his little Jimmy Neutron suits.
Jimmy Neutron suit, yeah.
Unbelievable. It gets to the point where I'm like, if George was alive, and a lot of Yankee fans have been saying this, I've been seeing it a lot. If George was alive, he burned the stadium down. I am not even kidding. I understand you had to rebuild the stadium to get a new crowd going. I get it. But he would burn the stadium down because of how bad everybody's doing. And I'm not blaming the people like Judge and Cole who have done stuff, who have done everything for this team. They are two people. A team revolves around more than two people. What are you doing? Cole goes out every 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th day, does what he needs to do, and gets off the mound. Why do we have to wait 900 years for a whole roster to be formed?
Sarah, we are right there with you. And with Sarah's last comments, I just realized something, right? And I hope I make you guys laugh about this. Brian Cashman reminds me, you guys remember the movie Tommy Boy, right? You guys know the movie Tommy Boy, right? You remember David Spade's character in that movie?
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of when George Steinbrenner was around. Tommy Boy's father, the assistant to Tommy Boy's father, David Spade in that movie. That's who Brian Cashman reminds me of, right? But I want to bring up another thing because this is something that was going on Twitter when it comes to how Steinbrenner and his decision-making or his lack of decision-making, right? My friend Joey Randazzo on Twitter, he said the arrogance of the Yankees sticking to a stale process with an even more stale winning that didn't address their issue to get them to where they are today, being below 500. The Astros won the World Series last year, and they got themselves a new GM. The Yankees were eliminated by the Astros and chose to bring back the guy who hasn't won anything without any of Gene Michael draft picks, right? One was complacent and the other was just the opposite. The funny thing about Houston is that they had one of the best run front offices in the game. But what did they do? They decided to hire someone from the Atlanta Braves organization, even after winning a World Series. When it comes to Hal Steinbrenner, I understand the reports that came out that Hal, he didn't want to do this. He didn't want to be in charge of the Yankees. When George passed away, there was a reason George left it to Hank. Hank passed away. He had nowhere else to go but to Hal Steinbrenner. His sister is raising her kids right now. She doesn't want to step into it and be in control of the team because she has young ones that she's raising right now. Hal Steinbrenner, I know that Brian Cashman may be like a brother to you when it comes to your family, knowing him for a long time, but you got to look at the results that's on the field. The results aren't adding up. Joe, I want to throw it over to you, then throw it over to Celso, circle back to Sarah before we continue. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I hate to say that maybe Hal doesn't care, right? But it sure feels that way, right? Like he didn't. It's like at the deadline, if the rumor is true, if Hal did not want Cashman to sell off any pieces because he really thought that this team could compete, but then he didn't want Cashman to add because of the luxury tax. Come on, Hal. What are we doing? It's like, and he deeply frustrated. Get off, deeply frustrated. You have the deepest pockets in Major League Baseball. I don't want to hear about Cohen. I don't want to hear about it. You own the freaking New York Yankees. You own the Yankees. Stop being a joke. It's a joke. This whole thing is a freaking circus. It's a joke. We're 60-61. this stupid pen. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Listen, I saw in the chat someone saying, "Oh, why are you yelling?" Listen, I yell. I'm a loudmouth Italian who's passionate about the Yankees, and I'm sick with how things are being run.
Yeah, and Celso and I are two Puerto Ricans that love yelling as well at the same time. Go ahead, Joe.
You have a pulse. You guys have a pulse. Be upset. It's okay to be upset. This is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And to put another cherry on the cake when it comes to the finances, if you were to take the tickets that were sold last year at Yankee Stadium, when it comes to attendance, and if you were to take, like, let's just think about it, Sarah, you go to a lot of the Yankee games. Hypothetically, minimum that you're spending at the game is like $60-$80 when it comes to food, drink, and beverages. So if we were to take last year attendance, everybody spent $60 at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees last year alone, and this is just me, hypothetical numbers, $380 million from food and beverages alone. And then that's if everyone just spends $60. We know people spend well more than $60 at Yankee Stadium. That's just food and beverages. That's not merchandise. That's not the Yes TV deal, like I said. That's not the MLB TV deal. That's not the playoff bonuses that you get. You made $380 million just of people spending $60 at Yankee Stadium. I don't want to hear no more about the payroll implications. No more. None of that. Those are the excuses. Go ahead, Sels.
First of all, I love everybody in the chat pointing out they're like, no, we Puerto Rican too. He ain't loud at all. They're like, yelling. That shit ain't yelling. That's normal conversation.
We got 62 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Uncle Tats is in the building. My guy Seven's in the building. AK-47, Big Time Jerry, Tyler Tabbitt. I see you guys. My guy Dev Finch is in the building. Go ahead, Sels.
I love when you do the roll call.
Hold on,
say hi to everybody.
Nathan Ramachandra,
Hey!
happy belated birthday to my
belated, my
friend
guy.
Nathan from the NNR Hour. Go ahead, Sos.
No, it's okay. I love when you say go ahead, Sos, and then I look at the checks. I'm like, oh, who else can we shout out? What up, Aiden Davila, Grace Monroe, Uncle Grandpa Tats, Big Time Cherry Cadil. All right, so let's get back to it.
Sarah, I apologize. We're lunatics over here. This is your first
You're
time
fine.
here. I'm sorry. It's like it's two things going on. Sarah's like, these guys are nuts. Or second thing is, I found my community. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah. Actually, heck, I want to go back to something Sarah actually mentioned when she was giving her take was
Go ahead.
the rebuild, right, Sarah? Like, we don't see any of that. And let's be real. I want to ask you and then, go around, but do we even trust Hal? Do we trust Cashman to be the ones to even lead a rebuild?
Nope.
Like, that's like literally saying, hey, blind leading the blind, let's go for it, right? So it's like, yeah, we're getting the little pieces we want where we were like, hey, we need to see the team fumble the bag for us to hopefully get some change. Now the bigger question is going to be, who do we trust to actually make that change? Because, guys, let's be real. You're talking about Hal is what, 53 years old? Cash is 55, 56?
53, looking like he about to turn 84.
For real, bro. But my point is, you're talking about two guys that we look at it as, oh, it's this relationship. Yeah, they basically grew up together. I mean, you're talking about they were in their, they were kids, man. They're both in their 50s now, but they've been together, 27 plus 28 years.
Grace, I agree. How can we trust them when they constantly lie?
Exactly. How can we trust them when they let our first baseman play 2 months with a concussion, when they let our catcher play with a broken wrist, when they tell us, no, the toe is just fine, then he's gone for 2 months. So we can't trust a word they say. So my fear is we're going to get what we want of hopes of things happening. And instead, we're going to end up with two incompetent idiots that are supposed to do something for us. And we're not going to see any change, guys, or anything that's going to be productive for us. These two, they made a blood oath, bro. I'm telling you, right? They were in their 20s. They were like, we're friends forever, buddy. You and me, we're going to take over the Yankees and screw everybody.
That sounded very pointed, all right? If you're making fun of Halloween or witch movies, I take that very offensive, okay? Okay? I'm a child of Hocus Pocus. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
All right, fine. I take it. I'm done. Go ahead, Hector. I'm done. All right, go to Sarah.
No, I just want to throw it over to Sarah real quick, because like Grace said, like Sarah says, how can we trust them when they constantly lie to us? Right now, I said this multiple times. We don't want to sound like broken records. We don't want to come on the show every day. I know Joe don't want to take time making the videos that he made talking about how bad Hal is over and over and over again. Hal just needs to know one thing, and I've said this multiple times. I don't want to speak for Yankee fans. I know for myself, if Hal Steinbrenner comes out later on today, having a press conference and says, you know what, guys, we messed up. We fumbled the bag. We should have sold pieces at the trade deadline. Going forward, this is what we're going to do. Luis Severino's not going to pitch for the rest of the season, right? We're going to call up the young guys from the minor league system. Is he going to do that? Absolutely not. But if he was to do that, at least me as a fan, I can respect that and get on board if you give me the game plan. But if he lays out the strategy, I can trust it. The fact that he's not, and they're trying to fool us. You heard Boone last night. Well, how many teams went on a run towards the end of the season? You got the Braves who did it. The Nationals did it. What are you doing? Are we looking at the same team?
Nope.
Are we looking at the same roster? Are you watching the same game? Joe, go ahead, Joe.
The Atlanta Braves added Rosario and Soler that season. The Yankees didn't add anything.
No.
They added Middleton. Yeah, God bless his soul. You added a guy making $700,000. Good for you. You didn't add anything. The Braves added people that year. That's why they won. They got some new blood in there.
Yep.
They built momentum, and they won the title.
And it's hilarious.
Yankees didn't add nothing.
That they added hit a home run yesterday. Eddie Rosario, bang, 3-run.
Yeah. Listen, but even at that, though, if you want to rebuild this team, right, let's just say Hal Steinbrenner has that beautiful press conference that Hector suggested. First of all, I'd say, Hal, you're an asshole. I don't believe you. Second of all, how do you think the Yankees would do a rebuild? Because in doing a rebuild, Giancarlo can't be on this team. LeMahieu can't be on this team. So now you're expecting the Yankees to eat money of Giancarlo's contract, eat DJ's contract. They're not going to do that. I pray to the Lord that they do, but they're not. That's not what they're going to do. So what kind of a rebuild are we supposed to have? What kind of a rebuild will we have? It's going to be a shoddy one. It's going to look inconsistent across the board, if you will, because you'll still have Giancarlo in that lineup. You'll still have LeMahieu in that lineup. Guys, they shouldn't be here anymore. They shouldn't. Giancarlo, super strong, hits home runs. That's all you do. You're a liability in the outfield. You can't run the bases. I'd rather watch Pereira. I'd rather watch Dominguez. Screw it. Have him skip the next the Scranton. Come to the Yankees. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I don't care if he's hitting 200. I don't care. I don't want to watch Giancarlo anymore. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I love Giancarlo. It breaks my heart that he's a shell of his former self. But what are we doing? We need to get more athletic and younger. And in doing so, Giancarlo has to go. DJ has to go. But it won't happen. So we're going to be sitting here next year. Hal's going to have his freaking hands underneath his ass. And that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm I'm all sweaty.
Joe.
I'm getting hot in here.
Bring up John Carlos, right? And like you said, I wanted John Carlos to work. I'll throw it over to Sarah, but I just wanted to say, when it comes to John Carlos Stanton, I've never seen two people have so much of a love for John Carlos like Celso and Sarah does, right? Sarah and Celso, they big John Carlos Stanton fans, but they can both agree that John Carlos Stanton, he is less than 50% of his former self. Go ahead, Sarah. I'll throw it over to you and then circle back to Celso. Before we do that, shout out to my guy Alex and Luca from the Big Blue and the Bronx podcast. If you guys can, make sure you follow our guys Alex and Luca. Jay dropped a video last night talking about the New York Giants. It was an amazing watch. Make sure you watch it. Go ahead, Sarah.
So, about Giancarlo. I don't know what is going on with him. I don't know the whole situation with him. He's had a plethora of injuries you can't even count on. It's like a long list of a library. But at the same time, you just it's like that child that you have to take everywhere with you. It's like you have Tommy, Timmy, everybody else in the zoo, and then you have Giancarlo. You can't forget about him. That's how I feel. That's literally him. And I used to listen to all the other idiots. He's made of glass. He's injury prone. We get that. We get that. He gets that. He wants to help, but as you get older, you can't be running the bases like Anthony Volpe. I get it. I get it. You want to be the DH guy, but what I just do not understand at the same time, it's literally the fact that why are we using him and Judge like Timmy and Tommy from the Sandlot? What is going on?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's great.
They could literally be running the whole team themselves. Like, let's just say Judge and Stanton retired at the same time, which won't happen. Let's say they retired at the same time. You take Cashman's job, you take Hal's job, take everyone out, bring new people in. I guarantee you, I'm waiting for Jeter one day to explode, even though I know he won't, because he's got his own aura. But I know he's got a witch's cauldron in his house about who he hates and who he doesn't. I guarantee you that. And Hannah probably knew that before she married him.
Jeter's over there with a magic one. They're right here. Before we continue, I want to shout out my guy Worldwide L in the chat. He just texted me. He said, "Heck, look at your text." He was with David Cohn when the Yankees was down in Atlanta because L lives in Atlanta. L is he's a full-on chef. He's an amazing chef down there, an amazing caterer as well. He works with the stars down in Atlanta. Shout out to my bro, Worldwide Mayberry. If you guys can, make sure you guys go follow them over there For the Love of the Game. Go ahead, Celso. I want to throw it over to you. My fault. Sarah, you was done with that last thing? Yeah. I apologize. Okay,
yeah, I'm done.
Go ahead.
Fire take, by the way, Sarah. Fire take. I will say this. You said about accountability, Heck. I'm sorry. I don't know who agrees with me or if people don't. It's past that. It's too late. Don't come to me now and give me what your game plan is. I'm sorry. I can't get – it's like when my kids get in trouble, right? They apologize when they get caught. They don't apologize because they're sorry. They apologize because their asses got caught. I'm sorry, Dad. It'll never happen again. Liar. You're only sorry because the school done called my ass and now you're in trouble. If Hal and them come out now and say, oh, we shit the bed, it's too late. We've been asking for that before the season started when we said, are we really going without a left fielder? We went with that one last year when we said, why did you trade for Frankie Montas?
Oh,
right. Like this goes back, people. It's not just this season. It goes back to last year. There's no accountability last year. We see it time and time again. So if they come out right now and say, oh, we shit the bed, it's not enough. For me, it's way past that point. Now it's about action. Do things. That's what I'll accept as an apology. When I see you actually get rid of what needs to get rid of, when you bring in pieces that actually make sense, when I see an Austin Wells coming up and playing because, hey, let's play the young guys. Okay. I love the fact that Joe said, oh, bring this guy up. He's batting 200. Okay, that's only 30, 40 points less than most of our team right now, Joe, right?
Yeah.
So, any other season, you're like, oh, well, he's only batting 200. We're like, yeah, he needs more time. Now I'm like, oh, 220? Bring his ass up here. He fits fucking right in. Yeah, so I'm sorry, there's no room for accountability at this point. They screwed.
And it segues us perfectly into our next conversation because we got to talk about some of the Yankees prospects, right? Because Baseball America, they just put out their list, top 100 prospects. They reclassified some guys.
Jones.
The New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles are tied with 7 top 100 prospects. Now, on the outside looking in, that's pretty good. None of the Yankees prospects are top 50. Nope. Just throw it out. None of them are top 50. Sarah talked about Spencer Jones. So let's talk about Spencer Jones as being the number one prospect in the Yankees system, right? We got Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez, Everson Pereira. You seen Chase Hampton. He took a big leap. He's classified as the 4th best Yankee prospect. We got Drew Thorpe. We got the shortstop, George Lombard Jr., who when the Yankees drafted him, I really didn't think. I was like, why they drafted another shortstop? But he seems like he's going to be good. Roderick Arias, Austin Wells, Trey Sweeney, and Will Warren. Joe, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What do you make of this new prospect list, or do you think it doesn't mean anything until they produce on the major league level?
It's because a lot of people, Spencer Jones leapfrogged the Martian, right? So that's a thing. So it's like, is he regressing? I mean, he's hitting 200 in Double-A. So it's like we don't need that, right? Especially if we're expecting him to come up next season. His ETAs next year, technically, right? So, but I'm glad Spencer Jones is doing well down there. He's doing great. Austin Wells, I would love to see him next year. ETA this season obviously didn't happen. But also at the same time, too, it's the Yankees. They get a lot of flack for the lack of talent down there, and with how maybe they don't produce major league ready players. I mean, listen, Aaron Judge, superstar. Jeter, superstar. Cano, yeah. That's it. Since those guys, that's it. And you have Gary Sanchez has an 800 OPS for San Diego.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, not on, friggin'. He's catching Blake Snell. Him and Blake Snell are best friends. They got their kids going to Sunday school together. They're best friends now because Gary Sanchez, apparently, he's a decent guy behind the plate for the pitcher. He's a good personality. He's a good dude. No disrespect on Higashioka, no disrespect to Rort Vet, but I mean, imagine if one of them had a 750 OPS. I mean, come on. And we wanted to dump Gary Sanchez too. And I'm just going in. I'm going into left field at this point. I mean,
you good, Joe.
We go and get Josh Donaldson. Guys, I am a freaking pool. I'm sweating. I'm happy that we have as many top 100 prospects as we do. I am, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, that sucks. But also at the same time, none of them produce. We have Anthony Volpe hitting 200. Yes, the power is there. But I mean, and if I have to hear another Jeter comparison to Volpe, I'm gonna rip my shirt.
Seriously, we've been preaching that forever, right, Joe?
Yeah, you have Derek Jeter who hit 314 in his rookie year. Relax, everybody, relax. Volpe's gonna be Volpe. But so cool, yeah, great. At the same time, the prospects, whatever, but they never come up. But listen, we have Peraza sitting down there in the minor leagues. Sitting down there in the minor leagues. We need a left fielder, and he's sitting down there, and he's performing. Are we going to see any of these guys? Austin Wells, are we going to see him? Come on.
No, I'm right there with you, Joe. I want to shout out my guy Worldwide Mayberry for the $10 super chat. He said, "Coffee on me this morning." You know what? I'm gonna take you up for that. I'm gonna go get me a bacon, egg, and cheese, and a coffee at the.
Yeah, but did you see the follow up though? Did you see the follow up from Uncle Grandpa Ted's? The 999 super chat. With this team, forego the coffee and pour the whiskey. Let's go.
You know what? Then I'm gonna take that $20, go to the liquor store, get some whiskey. I'm gonna send you guys some Uber. I'm gonna send it to you guys via Uber. We're gonna have ourselves a good time this morning. But no, appreciate Uncle Tacit, appreciate Worldwide L for the contributions to the channel. I definitely appreciate that. But no, Sarah, your face switched up when Joe brought up the whole Derek Jeter comparisons. And I know this is something that you and we've talked about on Instagram about this whole comparison, how we both feel it is super unfair for Volpe to be compared to Jeter. You got people comparing Jason Dominguez to Mickey Mantle and Mike Trout when the Yankees first got him. Sarah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm gonna pull a Don LaGreca. What are you doing? That's exactly what he does, because it's all the time. That's how I feel, because the comparison's ridiculous. During spring training, I understand Volpe he hit the roof. We get that. Spring training, you're literally hitting all the minor league guys from all different parts of the board. When you come up here, you're literally facing Verlander, you're facing Scherzer, you're facing all these guys that have been up there longer than Cole, and you're trying to tell me Volpe's going to hit 314. That is not happening. Not in this day and age. Jeter said he was struggling when he was in the minor leagues. Him and Mariano were literally back and forth all their careers. It was the same thing with Andy Pettitte. When I was watching his center stage when he was on with Michael K. He literally said, "This is baseball. You are going to hit 314, and then you're going to drop down to 100. But maybe the next week you're going to hit 400. That's how it used to be back then. Now it's like you got the numbers. You have this new hitting coach. You don't even know if the hitting coach is doing his job. You don't know who's doing what. And it's the fact that why we rely on these idiots with their old Mac computers sitting there thinking Judge is going to hit 500. When was the last time Judge hit 500? It's been years. The man literally got misdiagnosed from a toe injury. He's been out for 2 months. The man has, 23 home runs, 22 home runs? He could have had another 60 by now.
Yeah.
If he wasn't misdiagnosed. This is ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of everybody taking pictures of the guys on the bench saying they shouldn't be smiling. First of all, you don't know shit about the sport if you keep thinking that. Second of all, I see all these Jeter pages with the comparison of Volpe that drives me insane.
You can't. It's unfair. It's
unfair.
It's unfair. And like, hold on. I want to shout out Blue Go in the chat. Shout out my guy Blue Co. You say Volpe's name 3 times, my man gonna pop up like he can't no Bloody Mary. Shout out my guy Blue Go in the building. Because Blue Go said it. He said it to start the season. It's unfair to just throw Volpe into this and think he's going to be able to perform when it comes to the expectations. So I'm right there, Sarah, with you when it comes to that. But something kind of broke Yankees Twitter yesterday and Yankee Spaces. Shout out to our friends Scott Braun and Eric Kratz over there at Foul Territory. But they had something while the live show was going. A former Yankee prospect entered the chat, Ben Ruta. Make sure you guys watch the Foul Territory episode today because they will be having him on as a guest. But Ben Ruta said that the Yankees minor league system, that they moved to analytics and the old school way and approach to when it comes to developing players is out the window. They just focus on how hard you can hit the ball. All they focus on is launch angle. They don't focus on situational hitting. They don't focus on actually developing players at the minor league level. He said when he was down there, they have players throwing medicine balls to see how fast that they could throw the medicine ball when they're in their batting stance. Joe, I'm gonna throw it over to you. I know a lot of, Yankees clicks for likes, just like Knicks clicks and stuff like that. What do you make of this story? Do we put a lot of weight into Ben Ruta's comments? What's your thoughts on it, Joe?
So to be completely honest with you, he's kind of saying the new way that the Yankees are doing it is not good, right? Compared to the old way. Let's go back to the old way, though.
Yes.
Remember Brandon Clausen, starting pitcher for the New York Yankees. He was sent to the Cincinnati Reds for Aaron Boone. What did Brandon Clausen become? Nothing. Brad Halsey, rest in peace. What did he become when we sent him to Arizona on the Randy Johnson deal? Nothing. Eric Almonte, he didn't become anything. My point is, this problem has been going on for the past 20 years. For the past 20 years, it's been going. You hit on Cano, you hit on Judge, that's about it. So this isn't a new issue. You could say, oh, the reason why the Yankees went to the analytics is because they were so flawed. But it didn't fix anything. It made things a little worse. So it's just we're still in the same crappy spot that we've been for the past 20 freaking years. 20 years. Think about it. We produced Posada, produced Jeter, produced Pettit, Mariano. After that, though, who? Everybody we traded away in trades became nothing except Ezekiel Duran in the Joey Gallo trade. That's it. So, I mean, for me, it's been a crap show for years now. It's been bad. It's been bad. That's
when you look at over the past 20 years, Joe, since 1998. 25 years since Brian Cashman has taken over. When you look at players that came through the Yankees minor league system and were able to produce at the major league level, you got Cano, like you said, Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner, and Dylan Betances. Those are the only 4 players that we have developed since 1998 that have a WRC plus over 100, which is league average.
Yeah.
And Dylan Betances is barely over that 100 because of his last 2 seasons and how bad he struggled. So those are the only 4 players since 1998 that have a weighted ones created over 100. You talk about analytics, that's some analytics for your ass right there. And just another player that you forgot, Joe, when you talk about players that the Yankees gave up, De'Aaron Navarro was in that Randy Johnson trade. That was
he was an all-star catcher, yeah.
But we traded him to Arizona, and Arizona literally shipped him to Tampa Bay because they gave up on him, right? So it wasn't the Yankees system that produced De'Aaron Navarro. It's him going to Tampa and him being produced by the Tampa Bay organization. And when you looking at these comments, and I'll throw it over to Celso to lead afterwards, you look at these comments from Ben Ruta, and he talks about when the analytics starting to get into the system. 2018. Look at the prospects that we had that failed. Clint Frazier was a top prospect, top offensive prospect in baseball. Came to the Yankees system, he failed. Gleyber Torres, top prospect and all, number one prospect in all of baseball, came to the Yankees system, he started failing. Miguel Andujar, amazing rookie season, promising young player. He got injured. Was there any development or anything down there to help him bounce back? Absolutely not. So I'll throw it over to you. We got 77 people in the building. If you guys smash that like button, and if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow our friend Joe from The Shift, and make sure you follow Sarah from Baseball Fever Media. Go ahead, Celso.
Question number one, Hector, I'll ask you. Anthony Volpe's natural position?
Oh, he came up as a shortstop. Yankees drafted him as a shortstop, but I think he's going to be best as a second baseman.
Okay. So, I mean, let's go down to analytics, right? If analytics right now say that he's better placed at second base, okay. So what I don't agree with Ruta is he's making it sound like he's the only one that notices this shit. Okay. Again, let's all talk about it here. How long have we been talking shit about if you have analytics, there's nothing wrong with analytics, but if you don't know how to read the analytics, what's the point of going all in on the analytics? Okay. Number two, why would you go all in on analytics and not focus on, hey, maybe, hear me out, guys. Crazy concept here. I know I might blow up the freaking internet with this one. What if you had the analytics team and then you also had your old school, hey, let me teach you the, techniques and fundamentals team.
Oh, like the Braves?
Like
Atlanta?
You mean it's been done before?
Like the Atlanta
shit.
coaching staff, that the entire coaching staff are former major league managers that have playoff experience, like Juan Washington, who brought a team to the World Series, like the former manager of the Colorado Rockies, who went to the World Series with Colorado. You talking about that team?
Oh, wow. So, you know what? You just ruined my day, Heck. I thought I was coming on to something. I was about to go on Shark Tank and pitch my idea. So it's been done. Okay. So you mean
who came up? Sorry, one second.
No, you're good.
Who came up to what's the manager's name for the Braves?
I forgot his name. I got it written down here.
Snitker.
Go ahead, Sarah.
It's Snicker, yeah.
Snitker. Okay. Who went up to Judge last season after he hit how many home runs? Snitker. Who else went up to Judge last season? Every other freaking manager. What did Boone do? Let's give him a hug and sit him down the next day. I can't deal with this.
and just to let people know, when it comes to Aaron Judge is a product of Aaron Judge's development, right? So I'm gonna send you a video right now. There's this guy that I've been following on YouTube. He is called the Hit Doctor. This man in his 70s, Sarah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. This is the person that grabbed Aaron Judge after the 2016 season. He sent the demo to Judge. He said, listen, let me work with you. Judge worked with him, and Judge keeps working with him, and that's the only reason Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge.
Heck, we talked about on the last episode together. That was literally one of the topics we talked about was you cannot take any credit for Judge because Judge himself said, yeah, I'm going to have my own trainers. I'm going to have my own medical staff. I'm going to do my own thing. Because, I mean, and if that's your captain, that's our guy, and he himself doesn't trust what the organization is doing, I mean, it's clear as day for everybody as fans. Sorry,
Judge
Michael K.
Change that organization. Not Hal, not Cash, not Boone, not George in heaven. George probably gave Judge the baton and said, okay, you're the captain. Here you go. Change the team. Knock everyone on their ass. That's exactly what's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'll make it happen.
And the other thing I'll say too, real quick, Heck, is when you guys were talking about the prospects and stuff, for those of you in the chat, if you didn't, go check out the Pipe episode yesterday with Sandy and Julian. Okay,
Yes,
because they took a deep dive into that top 100 list. They took a dive into second base, and they really started breaking down our guys, right? And what I love about what they do, Heck, is they don't make it a homer show. Not just because they're Yankees prospects, we got to love them. They call it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
And even they will sit there at times and say, hey, we might overrate our prospects more than the rest of the league. And when these lists come out, you see that, right? So I'll just throw that little shameless plug in there for them, right here on the Morning Brew Sports. How you doing? Hit the smack and the like.
If you can also, I just emailed you the link to MediaTeam at Morning Brew Sports. If you could just pull that up so we can share it on the screen. Also, guys, make sure you guys tune in to tomorrow. We got the Big Blue Brew with my guy Joe. Episode 2 will be coming on. We got this. And this is the thing. I'm happy that football season is around the corner. Basketball season is around the corner because both New York sports teams, when it comes to baseball, they crapped the bed this season. Yeah. This is the first time. I'm not sure if Joe, if Sarah, you guys know, you guys saw it. This is the first time in history that both the New York Yankees and the New York Mets are in last place this late into the season.
And where is Brian Dable up top?
Joe, want to throw it over to you. Again, I know these Ben Ruta comments. I know a lot of Yankee fans that they're trying to look too much into it, but you seen the prospects that I brought up. Clint Frazier fell over here, right? A lot of the prospects they were highly ranked on other teams, but then they fell when they come over here. I want to get your take on that, Joe, first before I play this video. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, man. It's just the thing is, like I said earlier, this has been an issue. It's not just like past 5 years. It's been an issue. It's been an issue for a very, very long time. So let's not say, oh, the Yankees were producing studs for the past, 10 years, 15 years. No, we haven't. This has always been an issue. You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching. It doesn't matter. What are you saying? Okay, now, honestly, we have Volpe, right? He's got power. You have Peraza. I mean, he's down there in AAA. Don't know why. Just call him up. But to be honest with you, maybe I'm going out on a limb, but I think this is the best shape the Yankee system has been in quite some time.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So if you want to, say, what they're doing now is wrong. Okay, fine. You could say that. But it's been wrong for the past 20 years. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. It's been wrong. It's been tough. We haven't been able to produce a damn thing.
Yep.
That's why in 2004, to replace freaking Aaron Boone as our third baseman, we had to trade for Alex Rodriguez. We couldn't call anybody up. We didn't have anybody. We had Eric Duncan. He sucked.
Yeah.
So that's the name, right?
I know he said the name. I was like, holy shit.
Former first-round draft pick. He became nothing. His brother Chris had a career. And was that his brother or no? That's Shelly's brother.
No, I don't. Yeah, that was Shelly's brother.
Shelly's brother, Chris. Okay, I apologize to the Duncan family, but I mean, Eric Duncan, he stunk, and he was a first-round draft pick. The guy that they took in the 2010 draft, Cito Culver, shortstop. Do you even know who he is, guys? Do you even know who he is? Exactly. It's been bad. It's been bad.
You remember when the Yankees traded Gary Sheffield to the Tigers, and we got back Humberto Sanchez, and we thought he was going to be the next great.
Let's go, Humberto.
Let's go, Humberto from the Bronx. It's in the Bronx now.
Freaking stud. Yeah, right.
Andy Phillips was a top prospect.
My point is, it's been bad.
Yeah,
it's been bad. Nick Johnson was okay. He was injury prone. We shipped him to Montreal. It's been bad forever.
Yeah, Juan Rivera.
Juan Rivera.
He had a decent career. He was Vladimir Guerrero's protection out there when it comes to the Angels. But we traded Mike Lowe to the Marlins for some washed up thing.
Ed Yarnell. Ed Yarnell. Yeah. That's what we traded a future all-star third baseman for. We traded Ed Yarnell. But to be fair, too, we got Brocious. Had that big, World Series in '98. So let's just be a little fair to that. There you go.
There you go.
Be a little fair. But Mike Lowell, you know, for a future World Series champion at that time. It's like we didn't know that. Hindsight's 2020. I get it, but we got Ed freaking Yarnell for him.
Mike Lowe, who won a batting title in 2007 with the Boston Red Sox,
World
and a
Series
championship as well. So let's play this video real quick. I'm gonna bring it up. Like I said, this guy, right? This is the reason why Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. It's not because of the Yankees minor league system. Make sure you guys go follow this man on YouTube. He does amazing demos. He has a hitting school. You guys can go online. If you got any young kids in your life that want to play baseball, have them watch this man's film. Go ahead, Sels.
On the drill Bonds taught Yelich.
So Barry got me in there and like hit this ball off the front of the plate. And then after a few of that, brought the ball up to line drive level. And I was trying to hit this bitch straight in the ground, and it was like opposite field, backspin missile, up the middle, backspin missile.
About a year ago, I was asking kids to do the same thing. I was doing a clinic, and we did a lot of tee work, and their tee work was excellent. When we started flipping to them, their mechanics broke down. I asked them to do what we had just worked with on the tee, snap the barrel down, but beat the ball on the ground. That forced them to let the ball come deeper because they can't hit this ball way out here straight into the ground. And sure enough, instead of going out there and getting it, they let the ball come to themselves, and it felt like they were going to beat it right into the ground, but they would actually hit it just as the barrel turned up, and they started hitting line drives. In my opinion, that's exactly what Barry was having.
That man right there. Make sure you guys go watch that. I'll put the link to his channel in the comment section after this video is on YouTube. But like Sarah and I both said, the reason why Aaron Judge is this superstar talent is not because of the Yankees system. It's because of that guy right there. You remember how Aaron Judge looked when he debuted in 2016? How wonky that batting stance was, super droopy. 2017, what happened? He worked with this guy. That guy, he teaches you two things: how to load up and how to, position yourself. He doesn't worry about the fancy movement and nothing. Make sure you guys go watch that guy. He's very knowledgeable on the sport. Sarah, go ahead. I'll throw it over to you since you are familiar with him.
Yes, very. I think his name is Richard, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Hoke, I actually bought his 62 book and met him at the stadium. He's pretty cool. He has a whole chapter or a couple pages in a chapter about Richard.
I was about to say it, bro.
Grace said, get you somebody who looks at you the way Sarah looks at Chris.
I saw him, for real. I was like, I need that kind of love in my life. Shit.
Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry about that.
It's okay. But no, I do love Yelly. I'm not going to lie. But as I'm going back to this book, like he talked about Richard a little bit, how Judge came in and literally said, I need help here. YouTube will track how many times you watch a video. I didn't know this until I went back in my settings, and it will say, I watched Judge's video over 70 times in maybe a couple months. I swear, if you need a therapy video, go watch Judge hit with Teacherman hitting.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's a clinic. He's simple as that. It's a simple approach. That's why when you look at Aaron Judge's approach at the plate, he's not moving his arms like that. He's not doing the Nomar Garcia. He's not doing none of that.
I hate that.
It's very smooth. 1, 2, 3.
I can't stand. See, Gary Sheffield used to do that, and I knew everybody I played baseball with when I was a kid. He's like, let's go be Sheffield. I'm like,
I think we all heard our Rich trying to imitate Gary Sanchez.
With my stick, play some stickball. Like, oh, I'm gonna do that, man.
Yeah. And then where's the ball go? To the fence on the other side.
But no, well, one thing that we could it's reality when it comes to today. We don't have to worry about the Yankees hurting us today because we have an off day today, right? They come back tomorrow. I just wanted to point some things out. Listening to the press conference yesterday when it comes to after the post-game press conference, I should say, in order for the Yankees, right, for us to get to 88 wins, we will have to go 28-13 the rest of the way. 28-13. I have no faith. And I'm just thinking, like, hypothetically, 88, 90 wins get you that last wild card spot, right? I'm just trying to look at what it was from last year, right? 87 wins got you in the in that third wild card spot last year. So in order for the Yankees to get 88 to 90 wins, we will have to go 28-13 or 30-11. Watching the product that's on the field, I have no faith in that whatsoever. Joe, I'm gonna throw it over to you, then throw it over to Sarah, and then Celso before we get ready to wrap it up. Do you have any faith that the Yankees can have that record going down the stretch, Joe?
Do I? You're asking me. After this, I'm exhausted. I'm sweating my tail off. I'm yelling and screaming. I apologize to everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, though. I hope you enjoyed it, though. But anyway, Hector, how can you have faith?
No.
How can you have faith in this team? There is none. No, there is none. I'm not excited for the rest of the year. I've listened. I'm blessed to make content for a living. I am, but at the same time, sometimes it's tough to make a video, bro. It's tough, especially with this hopelessness. I just feel hopeless as a Yankee fan. I feel hopeless. You know, everybody says, "Oh, the George Steinbrenner days." Well, to be honest with you, it's kind of true. We never had this. We never had this. Never dealing with it now. Why are we dealing with it now?
Exactly.
It's pathetic. Listen, I love my Yankees. I always love my Yankees, but I'm looking to 2024.
Yeah.
And if we could, we have what? Donaldson, he's coming off. IKF, he's coming off. Bader, Severino, got a lot of money. It's like 50 or 60 million that's coming off. And then if you could somehow get somebody,
Cody Bellinger. Sorry.
But no. I'm telling you no, because do you really trust in Mr. Hal Steinbrenner to pay Bellinger? Absolutely and positively not. So you could be looking at Pereira and left, a center field battle, right? But between Florial, Dominguez, whoever else, Greg Allen, maybe, Judge and right? If DJ is gone, which I don't think he will be, so maybe DJ at third, Volpe at short, Peraza maybe at second. I mean, if they ship Glaber out and Riz over there first, it's the same damn thing. It's going to be the same thing, except they're going to have a $230 million payroll instead of $290. That will be the difference. So no, Hector, I don't have any faith. None.
I love you too, Joe. Just know that. Just know that. Just know I love you. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Sarah, same question going your way when it comes down the stretch. 28-13, 30-11. Do you believe any of the hype?
No, I really don't. It's sickening as it is, and it's just and it's funny because I used to get happy watching Yankee games. Now I check the score and I turn off my phone. I can't even look at the TV because I'm sick and tired of looking at Boone. I'm sick and tired of looking at Donaldson looking like a grumpy old troll in the dugout. I am sick and tired of everybody looking like they aged 90 years. But Judge literally looks like Rick Fox in Eddie. Let's all sit there and look as pretty as Judge in the dugout because it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Judge does his own skin treatment that we don't know about. We figured that out already. But it gets to the point where I'm like, how do you win that many games in that stretch? You can't. Unless you are physically cloning Anthony Volpe for the rest of the year. If you cloned Anthony Volpe, I'd be like, okay, maybe we could do it. No, it's not happening. Yeah. I need 2024 spring training. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm right there with you when it comes to that. And I think, honestly, when I Celso, you're a dick. You guys don't see it. He's loading stuff down afterwards to bring up, and I can see it. You guys can't. But when you look at this season, right? When you look at the downstretch, right? I have no faith, and I'm at a loss for words. I lost my train of thought because I was laughing at Celso just now. So we got David Alliance with the $5 super chat. He said, "How and spending any more big money? He's burned a lot of money coming off the payroll. Won't allow with more bad money. Judge is Mattingly to listen." David, I hope Judge is not Mattingly 2.0. And I got another $5 super chat from David as well, who said, "Choking up, bunning, two-strike hitting, opposite field hitting, or antiqued. It's replaced with nerds who never pitched or hit in the MLB."
Amen. Last line. Thank you very much. You've never touched the bat in your life. Why are you talking? Tiki Barber.
I told y'all, we at this point, they should have gone with ChatGPT. I've been messing with that stuff. It does some crazy stuff. All right. I know for a fact it would put a better lineup together than Aaron Boone. Just saying. But Hector, to answer your question, I didn't know what route to go. I could just give you a simple no. I have no faith in it. I can go with the let it go, right? Or we can go with the classic wave the white flag, Hector. Bro, there's no hope. None whatsoever.
No.
We've been preaching it for months. I mean, I wish it could be one of those things where I don't have the receipts of the shit that I've already said, but luckily we do this for a living, and there hasn't been an episode over the last 3 months that I haven't sat here and said we'd be in this exact position. No hope, no chance, the same shit show. And everybody in our chat is even saying it. You cannot expect anything different in 2024. And when Hector, what was it? A month and a half into the season where I posed the question, Yankees fans, are you truly ready to say we want a rebuild? And if so, are you really ready to accept that we're looking at 3-4 years before we can even be in contention for anything? That is the only thing we need to accept if we really want to see the young guys come up. Because, again, we overrate our prospects, right? If we go with that narrative, then do we think when we bring our young guys up, instantly we become a better team? No. We're going to see, hey, which ones actually cut it and then ship out who does it. But at the end of the day, we're still going to see Stanton here. And you guys all know I'm a Stanton stan. That is my man crush, okay? That is my man crush. That man, every time I'm in the building, hits a home run because he knows I'm there. I know it. Shut up. Don't judge me. Okay. But even now, I have to sit here and say, hey, another season of seeing Stanton doing anything other than DH, that sucks.
Yeah.
And he's not lying too. The 2 times I've been with him to Yankee Stadium, Stanton hit a home run. And then that one time that I was at the stadium with Pete and I was on FaceTime with you, Stanton literally hit a home run right after I got
while we're on FaceTime. 7 games in a row now. Stanton's like, he's here. I'm like, I know, bro. You and I know it. No,
and you want to know the hilarious part, Hector, is the fact that I
Go
went
ahead.
to the 3rd game of the San Francisco Giants series. My friend Maggie's a San Francisco Giants fan. I said Stanton and Judge are going to hit a home run in center field. Bang.
Hey,
bang.
bingo.
I was like,
Bingo bongo.
Look at me.
I want to answer Anna Marie LaBeau in the chat just to let her know. Yes, I do have Power Rangers behind me, right? One of my dreams in life, when they have the reboot that's coming out very soon, I want to try to play Ernie from the Juice Bar. All right, that's my dream. I want to be Ernie from the Juice Bar. Yes, so I definitely have Power Rangers behind me. But no, appreciate all you guys for tuning in. First and foremost, I got to shout out my guy Joe. Thank you for taking time out this morning to join me in the conversation. Sarah as well. You messaged me last night, and I was like, Sarah, we got to make this happen because I know you got some stuff you want to get off your chest. Just know, Sarah, you have an open door policy. Anytime you want to come back and you're free in the morning, shoot me a message. I'll send you a link like I did just now, and you can come on whatever you want. I would love to get your co-host on, Julia, as well, just to have the both of you guys on one episode. That's cool, Sarah?
Yep, that's cool.
Copy. Celso, my brother, of course, my brother from another mother. Any last words before we get out of here, my guy?
I'll just do shameless plugs for our network. You know, it's kind of my job, right? That's what you guys pay me for. So number 1, appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you, Sarah. You guys killed it. Joe tomorrow is back with the Big Blue Brew at 2 p.m. But before tomorrow, guys, check in today. We got the Rookies podcast at 4 o'clock with Eddie and Hilal bringing you, that young coverage of Major League Baseball. And it's funny because even at their age, they're just as angry as we are when it comes to our teams. All right. We got the Smitty and Eddie show. We got the Mets evening brew for you Mets fans, if there's some out there. That's going on tonight. Hector, I love you, bro. Glad you were back this week. And everybody in the chat, man, we love you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Help us pay the bills. I'm a Ninja Turtle guy myself. Oh, I'm going tomorrow.
Just you know. I'm a Ninja Turtle guy myself. Power Rangers in Space, they had a crossover episode with the Ninja Turtles. If you guys don't remember, this is my me and Joe. We so much friends.
We can start a superhero podcast, bro.
Oh my God, it starts tomorrow. Let's go.
We literally could. Now we appreciate everybody that was in the building. David Elias, Grace Monroe, Casey Funtime, my guy Blue Gold, Sunil, Big Time Jerry, everybody that was in the chat, my guy Gio for Unpopular Opinion, Tyler Tabbitt, Anna Marie LaBeau, and Truth Always. Appreciate all of you guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. But like always, we out.
Dozers.